We're rollicking.
Rollicking. Off to a great start. There's a puppy in the studio.
He's sleeping.
There's a puppy right there. He's in the studio.
Puppy, dog, and kitty.
Mm-hmm.
We're asking for trouble.
Mm-hmm. This is the I Think I Love Puppies podcast. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome, and I'm sorry. I feel I need to open with I'm sorry.
What are you sorry about?
This whole pod from here on out is all my fault, and I apologize for speculating. You should never assume, and I have learned.
Yep, it is all your fault. And I don't forgive you yet. It's going to take time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the I Think I Hate Movies podcast. I'm John.
I'm Ray.
And there's a puppy in the studio.
It's very distracting.
So, if there's weird cuts or weird breaks, we have to tend to a puppy
And it's urine.
that just appeared in our studio, aka our tiny 800 square foot house. Anyway, welcome. This is episode 12?
Yeah.
12, yeah. So, as per usual, we're going to open with a little bit of movie news. According to Ain't It Cool News today, John Boyega of Star Wars The Force Awakens fame has been cast as the son of Stacker Pentecost. That is the character played by Idris Elba in Pacific Rim, in a sequel to Pacific Rim. And I'm really excited.
I believe you.
I really like Pacific Rim. Like, a lot. Like, yeah, that's a really good movie.
I really like the aesthetic of it, but I wish there was more.
Yeah, I
The
wish there was a
characters.
sequel.
Yeah, so that's why I'm kind of like, yeah, it could be good, or it could be another Pacific Rim.
Yeah. I mean, but that wouldn't be a bad thing,
That wouldn't.
necessarily.
No.
I'm wondering if, I know Guillermo is producing. He is not directing, I don't think. But it's going to be his studio and whatnot. And I'm wondering if they're going to get Rinko Ikaguchi. I'm wondering if they're going to get her again. Because that would be cool, because her character is really... I think they're going to at least try to get her again.
Yeah.
Because she's kind of a fan favorite, and just as a strong character, she really hasn't... I don't know. There's a lot of story you can still tell there.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, oh man, this sequel has been in the works for a while. Well, I mean, I say the works, but it's like, it's been through a lot of turmoil as far as trying to get funding. Like, Guillermo has been out there himself trying to get funding from studios. And then they sign on, they say yes, and then they say no, and then it's been back and forth. So, hopefully, this one will stick. And if Boyega's cast, then I'm sure it's got a lot more star power.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah, looking forward to that. In other news, let's see. Speaking of Star Wars, apparently Rogue One, the standalone Episode 4 prequel, is going through reshoots right now. Reshoots. Sorry, said that weird. Yeah, apparently, like, I think it's like 40% of the film is getting reshot.
What? I missed that part. I thought they were just occasional reshoots.
Yeah, this is, I got this on Ain't It Cool as well. But yeah, it's, going through reshoots, which is interesting. Apparently, it's due to possible like budget or quality issues. Like possibly it had a lower budget than it needed, resulting in quote unquote lower quality looking film. So it was screened to Disney execs, and they made some comments to the effect of it doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie. It didn't have that like fun, adventure-y kind of feel.
Wide shots, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember seeing the trailer, and it's a lot of close-up, which is weird for a Star Wars movie to me, because I'm used to seeing like all these like environment building shots sort of thing that they do.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you look at the original Star Wars, it has a good mix.
Yeah.
I'm thinking in particular too, like the cantina scene is a lot of like medium / close shots when there's dialogue and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking it's more. It has to do more with it being a darker film, inherently darker. Like the story itself appears to be something where you have a rogue group and they're doing these kind of clandestine operations, and it doesn't feel like it's supposed to be like a fun romp. It's supposed to be something like these are rogues. They're on a secret mission, like sent by the rebels to do something, something, I don't know, more covert. It's not supposed to be a big, like, it's not The Force Awakens. It's not Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yes.
I don't know. It's like, I don't like that they screen the movie. Like, I understand how that works because execs are the ones producing the movie. So if they don't like it, that's their money on the line. I get that. I get it, but I don't agree with it. But to have them make comments to the effect of something like that, like, oh, it's not fun enough, it's not adventure enough, that's not what Gareth Edwards does. Like, his movies aren't really, you know what I mean? Like, tonally, they're not fun romps. Like, Godzilla's not a, like, fun movie. I mean, it is, but it's pretty dark.
It's really not. No, I think that's one of the things that's missing from it for being a Godzilla movie.
Yeah, right. But it's like he wanted to do a different thing.
Right.
And it's like a city's getting destroyed and people are dying and lives are at risk. And his movie before that, Monsters, has a darker tone. Like, it's a very intimate story about like two people, but the world and the environment that he creates is dystopian and dark. So I don't know. Just for him to do this Rogue One, it's like maybe he has a vision, maybe he has an intent, but I don't think Disney execs. I don't know.
I still think he was a weird choice for this movie, so I can kind of understand what's happening here.
Yeah,
I don't know why they picked him.
Because he did Godzilla, and he's got potential.
Right.
Like that's like the vibe that I'm getting from Disney with their Star Wars selection as far as directors and actors, is they can see potential.
Right.
So, like Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, like, they haven't had these breakout huge roles, but that's something that Disney wants. They don't want you to associate with the actor and not the characters. And the same with the directors. Like, they wouldn't get a Michael Bay because you know what a Michael Bay movie is. It's big, it's loud, it's
right.
spectacle, and Star Wars has elements of that, but it's not all about that. So and someone who's young and upcoming like Gareth Edwards is someone that I think maybe Disney saw potential in. And I think it's a good choice, but yeah, and especially for this type of story. But I don't know. Like, first of all, 40% is a lot.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I feel like they got him and they didn't really realize what his angle was, and then when they realized his angle, they're like, oh, okay, well, this doesn't really fit our picture of our Star Wars universe that we're trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to kind of touch some things up.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We'll see in the final product. But I'm feeling probably, judging by Gareth Edwards' other movies, it doesn't really seem like something Disney's going to be very happy with if it turns into a
Either way,
transgender
yeah.
movie.
It's not. Well, it sounds like exactly like either way they're not going to be happy, but the fans have seemed to embrace Rogue One as like something to get really excited about.
It does. It's a different story in the Star Wars universe, which looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm still tentatively excited, but oh, the other thing they mentioned too was apparently the end of this movie takes place like 10 minutes before Episode 4, before A New Hope.
That's really cool.
So it's very directly connected to the original series, which maybe that has something to do with it too. Maybe, you know, they don't want that transition, you know what I mean, between
to be
those
flawed
two.
in any way.
Yeah, or they want it to be a smooth transition between that and A New Hope. Not, you know, maybe like watching them consecutively and it making some kind of sense that's too much to ask, obviously. But even that, you know, like if you think about it, the beginning of A New Hope is really dark.
Yeah.
Like the rebels are on the run and the Empire's after them, and it's pretty hopeless. And the Empire boards the rebel ship and murders everybody.
Right.
And takes hostages.
But this is sort of different sort of dark than what a Gareth Edwards one is.
Right. I'm just saying, Star Wars always dips its toes in those really dark themes.
Right, with just the toes.
Yeah. We're going head first with Rogue One, hopefully, but not to the extent of something.
I don't know.
Like,
That's the thing. I feel like it's Disney. They kind of want to carry you. They're gonna put you in with your floaties.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Your floaties and your nose plug.
And your little suntan lotion on your nose, and you put your sunglasses on, and here's a swim cap, and
Yeah.
oh god, this movie is the Avengers now. Like, fuck.
That's what it's starting to feel like.
That's
to
what,
me.
yeah, yeah. No, it's a band of, like, little merry rebels.
It feels
just
like an
running
Avengers
around.
and heist movie. Is what the vibe I'm kind of getting now
Well,
from media I read about it.
Definitely gonna be a heist movie. I mean, that is a fact. Like, that is already known. They're stealing the Death Star plans, but yeah, I guess how that plays out, we will have to see. But that's in December, so they have time.
And I'm still interested.
Oh yeah, me too,
Yeah.
definitely. You know, like reshoots of a movie. There are two takes on this, right? It's like, oh god, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's on fire. Or the flip side is, well, you know, they want it to be the best movie it can be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good thing. Like, you know, maybe, again, screening it to execs kind of puts a certain connotation on it, but either way, they want it to be the best movie it can be, although it is Disney, and we've said before, Disney is so ubiquitous at this point that it's hard to see their intentions anymore.
It's a
Because
good
it's so
through
broad.
line for our next series of movies.
Yeah, and Disney's always been like that. For example, back in 1992,
91, 92?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
We don't ever look up dates, and
Not until the Tumblr post.
we're not gonna start. Yeah, until we'll fix it in post. Yeah, we watched Beauty and the Beast.
The original Disney film.
Hopefully the last Beauty and the Beast ever. Yeah, which we all know is not true. Yeah, I can say I unequivocally hate this movie. It makes me angry. Makes me angry.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that feeling.
And it makes me sick. Like, no, nauseous. It makes me nauseous. Just, yeah. This is a bad movie.
Mm.
It's bad. So we
Well-
watched this and Cinderella, and this first, right? We watched this one first, yeah.
For the class, what was Beauty and the Beast about?
You want me to?
Yes.
Oh man. Alright. There's a girl, and her name is Belle, and she's so fucking weird. Man, is she a weirdo. She's this white girl, this beautiful white girl, has everything that she could ever want, but you know what? She's just so, she's so weird and quirky. It's, she reads books, and she wants to learn about things. She wants to educate herself.
She wants to go out on
And
adventures.
and then the rest of the town is like, no, Belle, no, that you're weird. You are weird. You're a weirdo. And in this town lives a man-shaped thing named Gaston, and he is a large caricature of just like hubris, and he's just like a vile goofball that wants to marry Belle so bad that he will break the law and commit crimes and stalk her. So Belle's father gets lost in the woods one day and finds his way into a magical castle that's fucking magical. And in this castle lives a prince who has been cursed. He used to be a handsome man, and he's been cursed to look like a beast, which I guess in Disney's world, a beast is a giant bison man, who's so horrifying, and no one can look at him, despite the fact that he's kind of endearing looking, but that's like the Disney thing, right? You can't make anyone too ugly. So Belle goes to rescue her father from this beast, and she sacrifices herself, and the beast ends up falling in love with her, which will break his curse and turn him back into a mortal, handsome, fucking romance cover man. Looks like he belongs on the cover of a romance novel, and everyone lives happily ever after, and
Except for Gaston. Spoilers.
The silverware and other antiquities of the castle sing songs.
Too many songs.
Too many songs. Every Disney movie, as far as I'm concerned, has too many songs.
Yeah. I braced myself for this movie, and I was like, I can do this again. And then they added a song, because we watched like the 20th anniversary version, and I almost cracked. And so I kind of felt your pain a little bit, even as someone who knew what was coming, for the most part.
Yeah. So we talked about Disney movies a little bit last week, to preface this episode, but I've seen some Disney movies through osmosis, and they're fine. Some of them
But they really
are fine.
They always try.
Well, as like a movie entertaining dumb thing that you can stick a kid in front of, they're like it's fine. Like it's not too offensive to a child.
But it's what you always stick in front of kids, and that's sort of the problem. And that's why I was kind of hoping, with Disney remaking a lot of their older films, that they would be adjusting things and kind of addressing these issues that are gaping in their old films.
Mm-hmm.
Such as this new Beauty and the Beast movie that's coming out that blew all the, records out of the water.
It was the fastest liked YouTube video or something.
Yes, it blew Force Awakens.
Yeah, but
yeah,
we also have to remember that doesn't mean anything.
it means something.
That is
It means
the
something
most.
sad.
That is the most arbitrary measurement of a thing on the internet that you can have, probably.
For a movie.
Other than most dislikes, it's like
Yeah.
people disliking the Ghostbusters trailer at some phenomenal rate, and it's like, okay, well, who cares? People are gonna see it anyway. But same with Beauty and the Beast. All those people that liked it, they're probably not gonna see it.
There's a good chance that a lot of them will.
most
And then
of
they'll
them.
take all their offspring to it as well.
Yeah. Well, let's hope they fixed a lot of the issues that are in this original
But
movie.
that's the thing. This wasn't the first Disney movie that they did this with. They did that with our next movie that we saw.
Are we moving on already? We're done with
I don't
Beauty and the
know.
Beast?
We might have to.
Well, like the thing about Beauty and the Beast, it's like it's a fairy tale.
It is.
It has magic and it has talking inanimate objects, singing inanimate, very animate objects. It has a beast. It has a like a monster, a creature, and a castle, and all these like elements of a fairy tale. And it also has like old tropes and old world thinking of a fairy tale.
Right.
And this is a 90s movie, which granted, a lot of stuff going on in the 90s, but that doesn't, like, Disney doesn't get a pass for the way that, one, they treat Belle, the main character, and characterize her, and two, just the blanket statement that, like, if you, if you're kind in your heart, then everything is gonna work out, but sometimes there's magic. Like, that's kind of like the all-in-one Disney message for all their movies, though, right?
It's also their employee statement is to make every moment magical.
Right. Yeah, this is magical in all the wrong ways. But, I mean, like I said, like I was saying before, like, the way, like, okay. This is a really stupid metaphor, but I'm going to make it anyway.
Okay, we already did flippers in the water, so we're good.
Okay. Disney princesses are Barbie dolls. And I don't mean that in the literal sense that they're made to sell dolls, which they are as well, but I just mean on the surface, they're very quote unquote beautiful to some standard, some unrealistic standard. They're very beautiful, and they're very like their looks are pandered to be just
little kids
soft.
on weird adult bodies.
Yeah, just very soft looking and like inviting, and they're just perfect. Like a Disney princess is quote unquote perfect in this very unrealistic way, and then once when they characterize these princesses, they need to give them a flaw, right? Because they can't be so perfect that you can't just be perfect. Except for in our Disney movie, we have to give them a flaw. So Belle, her flaw is what is that? What the fuck is that? Like, oh, she likes to read, and she's always got her head in a book. Like, it's a very almost soft characterization of, like, ADHD or something? Or
nerdiness.
Yeah,
I
like...
think is what they were going for.
She's a nerd, but, like, that's not something to look down at on a negative light. Like, that's not something to make negative if these movies are targeted towards kids. I mean, it ends up that, like, oh, Belle, like, wins the day, quote unquote, right? Like, she gets the prince, she gets the man, she gets whatever. But to have that be, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's never, her flaw is never used to her advantage, or never, like,
right.
used.
It's never, something that, a character trait
right.
as well.
But maybe that's right. Like, it's a character trait, but it's positioned as a flaw.
Right.
Or it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't know how to articulate it.
So it's like, I'm just trying to, I'm just saying, like, Barbies, like, my example is, like, a Barbie doll is, like, look at this weird, unrealistic depiction of a woman, and she could be anything. Look, she can be a doctor, she can be an astronaut, she can be a horse trainer. But there's, like, it's just a facade that they put on the Barbie. It's just a costume, and like, that's it. That's like the level of characterization that the Disney princesses get.
Yeah, because they're supposed to appeal to, like, a
like,
4-year-old
you just get
who's
an
never
outfit.
experienced anything.
But still, that's not okay. You know what I
It
mean? Like,
isn't,
that's
right.
not okay. Like, you can't. I understand that for kids, but it's just really undermining. Especially, I don't know. If I had a child and I was watching one of these movies, I'd be offended.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
Supposed to, you Disney, you want to make a big fun family experience, you're not doing it. But I mean, I don't know, maybe it's my mindset. I don't
It's
know.
mine too.
Yeah, it's undermining because it removes any critical thinking.
It does.
And
yes.
it's like every movie you should be critically thinking about
Even if you're a toddler.
some of it, right? So like to serve up this like bland, just kind of like, here's your Disney mush, like it's all these ingredients put together, like it's not characterized in any fashion or not like you know what I mean, like not unique. It's just like this gray mush, but like everybody likes it because it's got a little bit of everything in it. I don't know. I'm on a bad metaphor. Yeah.
Wait, finish the metaphor.
I don't like Disney oatmeal.
Yeah.
Your mush. It tastes
The part that
bad.
really tastes the worst about it is that it's just so forced on little kids for their benefit, sort of. It's just like something to entertain little kids, and it's almost like, it feels like brainwashing. Because, like, that's what makes that trailer to me seem so popular now. The reason it was so successful is because it's so deeply ingrained in particularly women now, because they grew up during the Disney Renaissance period.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something that's so...
It's empty nostalgia. It's like, hey, remember that song? Hey, here's that song again. And it's like, that because the song in the trailer is one of the original songs, kind of.
It is, yeah.
Right,
Actually,
like
it's 3 different songs that are from the original
orchestrated
movie.
version or whatnot. But it's just that. It's like very engineered to like hit that
Nostalgia point, right.
Yeah, specific point in your brain. You get that little dopamine hit and you go, oh, I remember that. And then all these good memories that you associate with the Beauty and the Beast when you were whatever, 10 or 12, all come flooding back. So, well, I'm going to go see the new one.
Exactly.
Regardless of how regressive the story is. Yeah, I mean, I can sit here and say I hope that they do well and hope it's not, hopefully maybe it has a more progressive outlook or character, but I just can't see it. I think it's like very deeply ingrained in the core of these Disney movies, and it's very emblematic of what Disney wants to do and what they're gonna do.
Right, which is more realized with our next movie.
Yeah.
The other experiment to see what could potentially be happening with the new Beauty and the Beast,
Mm-hmm.
which didn't prove very happy or positive for me.
What are you talking about? Everyone had a happy ending.
No!
The lady got the dude and they kissed on the mouth and then they got married.
Happily ever,
Happy, right?
ever.
That's what happiness is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marital engagement and
Making more babies to watch more Disney movies.
yeah. So we're referring to
Cinderella.
The 2015?
15.
15? Are
15.
you fucking kidding
Last year.
me? So from what I know of the Cinderella story, I haven't seen the original Cinderella.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I do not plan on it. But from what I know about it, this remake seems to be a complete remake in every sense of the word.
They took away the songs. They're only in the credits at the end, so that was the improvement that they made. Yay!
Okay.
So yeah, it was pretty much a complete remake. There was no real positive, and actually, the slight positive improvement. Well, I shouldn't say positive improvement. I should say attempts at progress that were made actually seem to be stolen from another Cinderella movie that tried much harder to change the story. Ever After with Drew Barrymore, which is a horrible movie. But I kind of want to give it a shout out because this movie did literally even steal a line from that movie and some plot devices. So I was very confused.
There is no plot in this movie.
There kind of is a plot. It's just a bad plot.
I can't care about these movies. I can't bring myself to care, but like, I'm sitting there watching, and it's ridiculous. Like, first of all, it's ridiculous to use the old Cinderella story unchanged, basically. It's like Cinderella or Ella, or whatever the fuck you want to call her, is a terrible character. She's not a real person. No one is this. No one is this person in the world. Mother Teresa wasn't this person.
Bit of magic.
Yeah, just a bit. Just a bit of bullshit. Like, her character trait is just like passive person that everyone shits on the entire movie, and that's it. Like, she's got a little glimmer of hope in her heart that maybe someday things will be better, and like, if I guess that's the message of the movie, just keep hoping until something good happens, but don't actually have any agency in your own destiny.
It's so weird though, because they actually didn't keep up with that either in the movie, because they did change something from the original story. In the end of this one, spoilers, sorry, but they say that she kicks her wicked stepmother and stepsisters out of the kingdom. So it's like, she's so kind, just kidding, fuck you guys, get out! That was kind of interesting, because it's like, wait, so you're going with, like, martyred saint, and then all of a sudden she does that at the end, which is a change from the original story, but it's interesting.
Martyred saint.
That's kind of, I don't know what else to put at that level of
There are no
placidity.
selfless acts, and there are no innocent victims. That's what I say. Yeah, I mean, her character, her mantra is, you know, like, be kind and courageous and everything will be fine. It's like, no, that's not, I mean, that's how it works in Disney movies, that's fine, but to have that be your through line message is just, there are better ways to get that message across.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not a terrible message. The way she uses it is horrible.
Yeah, like, I don't know, this really needed to be retooled. Like, this story, the Cinderella story, like, say what you will, like, a young, beautiful white girl wants to, like, marry a prince just, I don't know, and her life is terrible because she lets her stepmom and her stepsisters step all over her. So, oh man, I need to stop with the puns. But, like, you know, that, regardless of, like, whether you think that is a good core story, like, based on your, you know, what you, or based on, I don't know, like, on a morality level, like, there is no, like, moral through line throughout this whole movie.
Right.
Like, and that's kind of what fairy tales are purported to do, right? It's like, just, even if it is just like this very thin one-dimensional thing, it's at least always like, here's that one thing. That one thing is be nice to people, or you know, don't covet things from other people, or be selfless, or, you know, it's you know, it's just one stupid thing half the time, but in this case it's like, I guess she's just be courageous, but she's never courageous throughout the whole movie. She has zero courage throughout the entire movie. She never stands up to her stepmom and her stepsisters who are horrible to her.
Well, that was her sort of courage. That was the thing. It was like, so she's being courageous, and then she's doing something she doesn't want to do, and she's facing that. Right, but the courage
to not say anything and not stand up for yourself,
but
especially in a movie.
That's courage, but it's a different sort of courage.
It's a passive courage, or it's not even that. That's not courageous. It's especially okay in the context of a movie that came out in 2012 or 2015. And you're telling young girls and women that this is courageous.
Right.
Just put up with bullshit. Just settle yourself into mediocrity, and just take it. Just be a doormat for people.
Right, that's the
That's
problem.
terrible, right? And I don't know. It's just, if this is any indication of, like you said, the Beauty and the Beast remake, like we're in fucking trouble.
Right.
Or people are in trouble because Disney rules the world and they have all the money.
And they put out more media to shove down little girls' faces.
Right. And and I don't know. I mean, we could sit here and we could pick apart Disney, and that would take forever.
Yeah, it would. They've done too much.
We'd need
and they're still making more schlock.
Yeah, we'd need some Disney magic. But it's like, I don't know, it's just modern Disney is so hard to read now. Because like I said, like I said before, like having someone like Rey in Star Wars is awesome. Having someone like Jen in Rogue One is awesome. Having these strong characters.
We don't know about Jen yet.
But just the fact that is what they wanted to focus on, especially in the trailers, was like, this is Jan's story.
Do you remember Megara and Hercules? I feel like there's... Do you remember Pocahontas? Do you remember Pocahontas?
We're not even gonna fucking start with Pocahontas. No, I'm talking about new Disney. I'm talking about reinvented Disney.
I feel like reinvented Disney is masquerading old Disney.
Right, but this new machine, this corporate machine that is going now, it's like they're putting this face on it that looks really good, and it's, like, I am interested in Rey. I really want to know Rey's story. I really want to see Rey fucking kick some ass and like wield a lightsaber and learn from Luke and all this stuff. And god damn it, like, you got fucking Black Widow over here within the Avengers, like, as this like side piece, like this clown car on the side of the Avengers, and then you have things like this Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast getting remade, which are just like terribly out of date stories, and they don't seem to be retooling them. It's like, oh, we'll just like throw Helena Bonham Carter in a funny dress, and she has weird fake teeth, and like people will love it. It's just really, I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's like I said, it's hard to read new Disney, and I don't know. Maybe the Disney classic remakes are not something that we can expect progress out of. And maybe that's just that. Maybe they are just going to be remakes, and we just have to like live with the fact that
sort of like
this
Force
is going to be
Awakens was a remake of A New Hope almost?
Yeah. It was. It absolutely was.
Let me sip my tea.
Okay. Like I said, maybe these just aren't movies that we can ever look to see any kind of progress or any kind of light. And that's just what it is. That's what it's going to be. That's what Disney's prerogative is. Mm-hmm. It's a shame, mm-hmm. but they're going to make $1 billion. So they're going to keep making them.
A couple $1 billion.
Yeah, and they're going to keep making them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. If you work for Disney, send them this podcast? Maybe not.
I have friends who work for Disney.
Maybe if you want your job, don't do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Disney is like anything else. They're a corporation, and their interests lie in profit, and they're publicly owned, so they're always going to listen to the people with money, because the people with money are the people with power in their eyes. So somebody said make a new Beauty and the Beast, and they said, okay, fuck it, put the girl from Harry Potter. People like Harry Potter. People see that, right? I don't know her name.
Hermione.
Emma Hermione.
Emma Hermione.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not gonna see the new Beauty and the Beast. That's a promise.
I'll see it if it's free.
Yeah, I'm done with I'm done with those Disney quote unquote classics. You know what? That's the thing too. They're not classics. They're just big.
What makes a classic different from a big?
I don't know. Classic is like a story that can stand the test of time and
That's
still
not
be
true.
relevant. Yeah. That, in my eyes, that's what a classic. Like Star Wars is a classic movie. It's a very simple story. You know, I love talking about Star Wars. I'm sorry, Star Wars.
That's a
I'm always gonna
timeless
reference.
classic. That's a classic with
Oh
an
my god,
adjective.
fucking semantics. But you know what I mean. A classic is a story that can just it is strong enough on its own to stand the test of time, and you can tell it in pretty much any context, and it still works. Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, they don't work anymore. They never really did, but they especially don't work now. No, they can't. You can't fix these movies. You can't.
Fix them. There are ways it could be done.
You can make... How do we fix Cinderella? Let's fix Cinderella right now.
Let's fix Cinderella right now?
So Cinderella,
Okay.
her parents die.
Yes.
'Cause that has to happen,
Father
right?
later, when he
Her,
remarries.
her parents die, and now she's stuck with her stepsisters and her stepmother who are cruel. Go. Fix this movie.
The reason why she stayed with them would be maybe she's trying to understand them. And that would create a dynamic between the mother, the daughters, and Cinderella. It would explain why she's also entrapped with them, trying to figure out why they are treating her this way. And it would explain why the stepmother and the sisters are treating her this way. That would create developed characters on both sides.
Right.
And then it also could teach a lesson about grayness in the world instead of black and white thinking.
Mm-hmm. So, now the, okay. Now the prince predicament.
The prince predicament.
Predicament. How do you fix that?
That's gonna be the hard one.
Do you remove prince completely? Because now it's not a magical, fun time. I'm a fairy godmother, blah 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 story. It's just a girl is living with these fucking horrible, cruel people to study them as a social experiment.
Well, just until she can be independent and on her own, because she's also in the Middle Ages, and she can't really leave on her own without potentially becoming a servant.
Oh, we're running into more problems.
Yes. So she's got to stay at his house. She's trapped there by social confines.
Okay.
So.
But that's one of the things. Like, she needs to break these social confines.
She does.
Or that would be a very important thing in a movie like this, right?
Right, it would be.
Is to be a contrarian.
Yes.
And
Because the problem does come with the
you can't fix these movies.
Well, the problem does come with the royalty thing, because no matter what, there's like, in every fairy tale, there's every Disney fairy tale, there ends up being like a prince or something, and that's a real just problem with classism right there.
Yeah.
It's like, does he have to be a prince? And that's the debate that I'm having in my head right now.
Well,
Can I work it to where he's not a prince?
They almost...
And make that not the end goal of the movie, is for them to end up together.
Right. And they almost did that. Because the prince, when he first met her, he was like, well, I'm not a prince. Because he was ashamed. Right, he was ashamed of his quote-unquote royalty to some extent. And it was like this very, very slight characterization that never pans out.
And also came from Ever After.
Alright, but yeah, whatever. Fucking princess movies. But I'm just saying, it's like... Maybe he like is disavowed because of his choice that he makes. Like, you don't want to go full Romeo and Juliet, but maybe he says, you know what, I don't need a kingdom, I don't need to be a king, and I don't need this like arbitrary wealth. Like, and I'm just like, it is maybe a very core love story, and you can do that. And they run away and blah 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 and whatever.
That would be interesting too, but it also could be an interesting comparison of a functional family versus a dysfunctional family. But that would be weird because then it would be classist, because it would be the functional family would be the royal family, and it could be seen as because they have so many privileges.
Well,
you
could do that too, and you could do a commentary on, well, look at these well-to-do royal people, like they must be happy, and obviously there's some dysfunction there, right? It's
and then they could find.
Yeah, the grass is always greener, and then You know, there is a common thread there, right? But you can't fix these movies. You can't fix Beauty and the Beast. You absolutely cannot fix Beauty and the Beast.
You can if you include the lady who cursed him in the beginning.
Why is that?
I'm thinking. It's there.
Yeah, okay. There's the problem with the prince character in Beauty and the Beast, which is he is so vain and self-indulgent, and that is why he is cursed. And the only reason, or the only way
he can change.
He can change is extreme, and it's time limited, and it is the nuclear option. I have to fall in love, blah blah blah, to break this curse. And why does he want to break this curse? He wants to break the curse because he wants to turn back into a beautiful prince man. Like, he can't accept that maybe he's a beast now, and his inner ugliness is reflected in his outer ugliness, and that's what he is now, and he's got to live with it. Yeah. That would be okay.
That's Shrek.
Fucking fuck off.
That's DreamWorks too, not Disney.
But then Belle too, you know, like, she could be a quirky, interesting character, but she's a captive in his tower, in his castle. She doesn't.
Does she? Yeah, she does. Who am I kidding? But she doesn't have to.
What is it called?
Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, she's got Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah. These
she
movies
volunteers herself,
yeah.
Firstly. So it kind of puts her in a difficult place to be Stockholm Syndrome.
But for what? For her father, who's an old man?
Yeah, she's
that is not characterized
herself.
at all
She's
either?
She's kind and courageous!
Fuck you. It's irreparable. I don't know. I hate these movies.
Yeah.
Unequivocally hate these movies. I will not watch another one. You can't make me! I won't do it! I'm done.
You just wait.
I'm done.
Whenever you're gonna get punished.
What?
Whenever you're gonna get punished, I'm gonna remember your hatred of Disney movies.
For what?
I don't know. It'll have to be something really bad. Like you peed on the floor or something.
No, that's the puppy. Puppy, keep peeing on the floor so I can keep peeing on the floor and pretending it's you. Anyway, so we always like to keep you guys apprised in our current movie watchings.
Alright.
So we're gonna debut our new method of selecting movies. Would you like to debut it, Ray?
Okay. We have come up with a pun that he obviously doesn't want to say because his pun quota is out.
It's filled.
We have come up with the director selector.
Director selector.
Oh, Puppy's awake. Oh, maybe Puppy should pick.
No, Puppy cannot pick because Puppy will eat our directors.
That could be a good thing.
So we have about 20 or 30 directors.
Like 50. Who are you kidding?
Yeah, sure. Counting.
It's all the directors.
We've written down on papers, and we're going to select them randomly. And then from there, we will each pick one movie from each director? We're going to do... We'll do one, right?
One director.
One director, two movies.
Yeah.
Right. So...
Who picks? Paper, rock, scissors.
You can pick. I will give you the first honor or dishonor of picking the first director.
I'm gonna pick something crappy.
That's why I'm letting you go first.
I threw stuff on the ground. I didn't do that on purpose, I promise. I got you. Who are you?
Our first director.
George Lucas.
George Lucas. Alright, well...
Wow, how about that?
Some Star Wars movies and American Graffiti.
And Indiana Jones.
And Red Tails.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
Oh, man, what have we done?
Ah!
Okay, George Lucas. Director of some such fine movies as Star Wars Revenge of the Sith.
What's Herbie? Oh, it's a short.
The Phantom Menace. Are we going to take this opportunity to watch any prequels? Should we?
No.
I don't know if we should. Let's see. THX X113.
What is that?
That's his first movie.
What is
It's
that?
about robot AIs.
Sure.
Alright.
I
Wonder if
pick
that holds up.
that one.
Alright.
You pick one.
So you pick THX.
I
and
picked the beginning.
hey, it's not a bad movie, I think. We'll see. And I will pick his following movie, American Graffiti.
Oh.
Yeah, with his buddy Mark Hamill. So yeah. Next week we're gonna watch THX 1138 and American Graffiti, and probably talk and do a retrospective about George Lucas, unintentionally or intentionally. Who knows? So thank you guys for listening. That's another episode. If you want to email the podcast, we are at ithinkI'dhatemovies@gmail.com. And check out the Tumblr, and we'll see you next week.